Hi, everybody. Okay, we're about to jump into the last little section of this PowerPoint and hit on some SI prefixes, which are important, and talk a little bit about the other dimensions we didn't talk about. But I want to stress one thing first. It's that understanding the base units of length, mass, time, and temperature are vital. If you're going into computer science, I know some of you are, that's, I guess, not quite as important. You'll need more of the electrical ones. But for any of you going into something physical, like chemistry or mechanical or civil, things that you're working with, the real world, not just electrical world, you need to know these. You need to understand how to use them. And later on, we're going to get something called derived units, and you need to know what those derived units are. So pay attention to these things and make sure you really grasp what they're measuring, and also later on grasp how to convert between them. It's important. Okay, let's jump into this next one. So, SI prefixes. I'm going to move myself down here. That works. Now, there are other dimensions as well. However, they're much less commonly used, and we're going to mention them when we use them later. Ones I'm talking about are amount, which is measured in moles. Amount, you're like, amount? It's technically a dimension, I guess. Light intensity, which I have never actually used. It's measured in candelas. I've never actually seen it used, ever. So I'm still excited. If you see a candle in some research paper, send it to me. I'll probably give you some extra credit just for finding it. And the last one is electrical current. You're like, what about voltage, resistance? Those are all based on electrical current and other things. So electrical current is the last one. And you know that one's used a lot. That one's used a lot if you go into the electrical side of things. However, in this class, I don't really hit on that too much. Maybe in the future. For now, though, there's enough that you learn. Okay, SI prefixes. The reason these exist is because engineers love threes. They love powers of 3. Because think about it. When you write a number, you probably write it like this. I'm going to write the number 1 million. Now, why did I put the commas there? I could have very well done it this way. Make sure I write it right. That's weird. But it's the same number as zeros. So why do I do that? And all your minds are like, that's wrong. You don't write it that way. That's not how we do things. Dr. Kidd, what are you doing with yourself? Well, the reason we do it this way is because this is actually the metric standard. You put a comma after every 3 digits. And the reason you do that is because 3 digits is, each 3 digits jumps to a new prefix. That just makes it easier to talk about things, because I can read out some giant number, 98,436,432. I can do that, or like say that for pounds. I can say 98,436,532 pounds. Ooh. Or I can say 98 megapounds, and I'm done. Mega makes it easier. Mega means million, so I can do that. So you'll see this a lot. You see it in kilometers. Now, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. But how many meters are in a kilometer? There are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Because kilo, the kilo that you see in kilometer, it means 1,000. So if I see kilometer, I can just rewrite that as 1,000 meter. So 1,000 meters, kilometer. If I've got 1,000,000 meters, it's a megameter. If I've got a billion, it's a giga. You don't have to memorize these. However, I strongly suggest you do, because it will make things easier on you in the future. And some of these, at least, you should probably know, like kilo, mega, giga. You probably run into it when you're thinking about your file sizes. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. How many kilobytes are in a megabyte? 1,000. How many megabytes are in a gigabyte? 1,000. So you can remember it from there. Other ones you probably run into some are centi and milli. You've seen them on your ruler or yardstick. Usually it's got yards on one side and it's got a meter on the other side. And there's centi, which is 100th of a meter, and milli, which is 1,000th of a meter. You will run into those a lot, and so you should remember that. Once again, if you see centimeter, you can replace the prefix centi with 1 over 100. So if I see centimeter, I can just rewrite that if I want to as 1/100th meter. I want to notice are micro and nano. which is 1 e to this, technically e to the -6. It's 1 over a million, or 1 over a billion. It's a tiny fraction. The smaller ones are usually used for like chemistry people, or if you're getting into like light. Light is in nanometers. That's how its wavelength. It's very, very small. So different things here, but you should remember these. I don't require you to memorize them because you've got a book, reference it. But to save yourself some time so you don't have to constantly reference it, I would go ahead and try to memorize these. Okay? Make up some funny saying for it. There's plenty of them out there. My personal favorite for Kilo Mega Giga is kiss my grass. Okay? It's silly and it works. I never forget it because of that. So, do your best. Find some way to remember it. Remember, you can always reference your book. But we'll save you time. Remember, if you see kilo, you can convert it to 1,000. Okay, well, I hope this helps you. I hope you realize the importance of dimensions. Maybe you don't yet, but you will eventually. And I'll see all of you later. Bye-bye.